Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Yeah, it continues to move sideways. It has not really been a very interesting day today. Just want to outline again here the entire perspective about Bitcoin, that the market is currently at least behaving as if it has bottomed in November. As you know, I have been ignoring bearish counts for many weeks now, and for good reason, because we have been holding support, and as long as we're holding support, there isn't really a need to focus on lower prices, right? You see it on many crypto channels, they are still talking about new bear market lows, and of course, you know, that's absolutely and entirely possible, but does it really help with trading to speculate about new bear market lows? I mean, we're holding support. It's very simple. We're holding support. We see impulsive price action to the upside. We see corrective price action to the downside. We see higher highs. We see higher lows. We're holding support. And of course, you know, there are different support levels here. I mean, but before we dive deeper into the analysis, first a few words about the sponsor of today's Bitcoin video, Chartprime. Chartprime is a service that provides specific TradingView indicators. There are 5 specific and unique indicators that you can only get through Chartprime if you sign up to one of their plans. These are based on quite complex algorithms and formulas and can be helpful in identifying trade setups, which means they can provide additional signals that could support your trading. Indicators can, for example, also be useful to support Elliott Wave counts to give more confidence. Of course, you don't need to apply Elliott Wave to use Chartprime, and the combination of their indicators alone can provide trade setups and signals as well. They currently offer a 30% limited time discount, so if you are interested in this, check it out. Of course, bear in mind that no indicator works 100% of the time. Here's an example of the Bitcoin chart with one of the range indicators. This indicator combines various indicators in itself, so you can adjust it to your needs, but it basically shows your range resistances, different support resistance levels based on different time frames, and it categorizes them based on their relevance. And this indicator provides you with dynamic support and resistance bands to which the price is reacting. And if you're interested in checking it out, make sure that you use the link in the video description and on their website. You can also read through testimonials, and you can join their Discord community, which you can join in case you have any questions about how to use those indicators. It could easily be that we lose 1 or 2 degrees and just find a bit support a bit lower, yeah? But they are all bullish support levels. So focusing now on new bear market lows is just a little pointless in my opinion. I mean, I'm always very concerned. I don't want to put too many counts onto these charts, because if I put too many counts onto these charts before they even become relevant, it will just confuse everybody and spook people away from Elliott Wave and technical analysis. I mean, the market is complex. I try to make it understandable and simple. I mean, I don't know if it's probably never simple, but at least understandable by identifying the structures which in my opinion are currently likely. So, and therefore also please understand that the market surely could use one of these lower support areas that I'm going to talk about in a minute. So I'm not telling you we couldn't come down again anymore. In fact, I think it's very reasonable to retest one of the lower support areas, but at the moment there is no risk really, or limited risk only, to make new bear market lows. And the reason for that is that we're holding support on a very high level, and the market isn't really come down very low in that particular range. Only when the market does that, that's when we need to consider to change the perspective. But we can only analyze what we can see. We don't really want to take into account the economic situation because it's pointless. Yeah, history has shown it. There's no point. It's just people talking about it because they have nothing else to talk about. There's no point in trying to bring up a recession or whatever, and that crypto prices couldn't go up because of a recession coming. I mean, nobody knows. Yeah, it's basically crypto's first recession, and we have had bear markets at the beginning of recessions. We had bear markets at the end of recessions in the past. Yeah, of course, you know, not relating to crypto, but different asset classes. And you know, the markets are always forward looking, so we don't really want to take into account something that's here now, you know, or that could be a problem, whereas markets might be looking forward quite a while. So you can't really, we can only really analyze and trade what we see in the charts. And we see in the charts that we have strong upside. We have been having, well, the markets have really doubled in price. Yeah, the markets have rallied since November for months now. We're holding support, and from that point of view, I tend to ignore the bearish option at the moment. Not in terms of, ignoring it for trading and, risk management purposes, but I can really only share the analysis with you, right? Always keep in mind that analysis, even the best TA you could get, is not a replacement for trading skills. So always understand the options that are available in the market, the likely options, and then make your own decisions. And just because, for example, there is an uptrend, it doesn't mean, you wouldn't necessarily short for hedging or something. So that's completely different. That's what many people don't understand and struggle with, that your trading decisions depend on many more factors than just the chart. This is just a tool, yeah. So I had a question a few days ago by someone who said, right, you're saying the chart is going to go up. Well, I'm not saying it will go up. I'm saying there is a potential as long as we're holding support. The pattern is valid and targets should take us to whatever 35k plus, yeah. But I'm not saying it will, because the market has its own mind, yeah. But we can only analyze what we see now, and based on what we see now, we see the price is consolidating at a high level. We had impulsive price action to the upside, we had corrective price action to the downside, and we're holding all those relevant levels, which make the current price pattern likely. Therefore, I share it with you. But does it mean, and the question was, does it mean if price goes down, are you going to buy blindly every support area? And, my answer is then typically that, no, I don't. But even if I was, that would just be an individual decision based on my portfolio, different time frames, because market, your trading decisions have to be based on so many more things than just the chart. There is so much more. It depends on what instrument you're trading. For example, I don't mind giving a spot trade much more space, yeah, because the risk is just much lower. So rather giving the trade more space, having smaller positions, things like that. And also, if we come down into the next support area, because we might lose the micro support, it doesn't mean I'm just going to blindly buy, because eventually you want to wait for a reaction, right? I mean, this is only support. It doesn't mean the price will turn around here. These are just areas where price will likely show a reaction, and ideally, depending on which scenario will play out, it will most likely bounce from there. But if the bulls are strong enough to show an impulse, well, that's the question for another day, right? That's what we will see, because that story isn't written yet. In every given moment, you have so many different possibilities and basically unlimited potential. The task of me as an analyst is really to identify those 2 or 3 most likely structures. So always bear in mind that if I'm showing you here the option of a direct breakout, but also the option of a deeper pullback, they are both likely. I think it's entirely reasonable for Bitcoin to lose micro support, which is here at 27,560. Yeah. I think it's very reasonable to expect that it will lose that and comes down a bit lower than in a deeper pullback. But the breakout from here is also likely, right? Bitcoin, I mean, the thing is, what would confirm rather the view or the thesis that we should get a deeper pullback before continuation to the upside? Well, in my opinion, it's been moving sideways for a very long time, longer really than it would be ideal. So the longer these sideways movements take, in my opinion, it's always like, the less likely is it that the breakout will actually occur, because the bulls are clearly struggling. They can't really get higher, right? We would normally expect a rally from here somewhere. And typically in a wave 2, the pullback should be deep, and it hasn't been deep. Yeah. So one question was, why is the support area orange then if it's likely to rally from here? Because obviously those different colors represent different sort of, let's say, areas of probability or risk. Orange is, a little bit less clear. Well, it's orange because even though it's likely to rally from here, it's also likely to break down, because they're both reasonable options. And to be honest, yeah, we're holding support. We have been holding, which is sort of rather confirmation or an indication that we will rally from here directly. But the thing is, in a wave 2, you normally get a deeper pullback. Now, we haven't seen that. That's why I think it's entirely reasonable to expect it will come down as well, deeper. But then again, I can't say it will come down because support is holding for now. So as long as support is holding, we have to treat it like that. But if that support area is breaking, then we know where is the pivot point, where is the exact point where probabilities are shifting. And that is for me here 27,560. Then there's one more chance to hold at 27,060, but below that we're dropping into the deeper support areas. Okay, looking at the microstructure here, we have the situation still that we are probably in this triangle. So again, we don't have an impulse up or an impulse down here in this particular section of the triangle. It's just a balance of forces, and it could be now that this D-wave bottom has been made. I mean, we talked about that in the previous video, but it could be that in this triangle, the D-wave low has been made and we're now moving up in an E-wave. Yeah, what would be, you know, ideal target for the E-wave? Let's just come up with a quick target, because the target would be the 61.8 extension. So we're talking here about 28,160. Now, it's not a level where it absolutely has to go to, but it's certainly a level to watch. So we're currently here in a scenario where we looked at a possible wave 1 to the upside that started on the 4th of April or the 3rd of April. 5 waves up and then 3 waves down in a possible WXY pattern where the Y wave is an Elliott wave triangle. And this sort of larger 1-2 setup is likely as long as we're holding 27,560. Now, as I said, if we lose that, it's not necessarily bearish. It just means that we will come down a little bit lower. And we'll probably pull back into the next support zone, which is just a little bit lower. Yeah. I mean, it's a bit it's reassuring that the movement to the downside isn't really in 5 waves, so that hasn't been impulsive yet. So which is quite good. It you know, leaves options open to the upside. But yeah, ultimately, the bulls have everything they need. It's all prepared in the chart, right? We've got those impulses to the upside. We've seen those corrections to the downside, but ultimately it's now just the bulls. The bulls just need to make the chart break out. So it's a bit of a waiting game. Again, it's just been moving sideways now for around 4 weeks, longer than ideal really. But as long as support is holding, the focus will be on higher for now. Alright, that's my update about Bitcoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.